Welcome to Gingerlocks Episode 1. This is what I'm calling Gingerspyce's Warlock Lives. There will be 3 of them. I am currently level 5, and in this video I'm going to be doing Elite Sacred Helm. Now, let me start off by saying the most important thing, and that is, I don't know what I'm doing. Warlock is brand new, and, well, it's been out for about a week now, but this is my first Warlock. Just made her last night, just TR'd her into a Warlock last night. And so this series is not going to be intended to any kind of guide to Warlock. I just wanted to document in videos my Warlock lives and have a little fun with it, and maybe we'll learn something along the way. Hopefully I'll learn a bit along the way. It'd be pretty sad to do 3 Warlock lives and not learn anything. But I'm still learning, and I'm going to be talking about my plans for Warlock and just sort of going over what I'm doing. So right now, like I said, I'm level 5. And I chose the Fey Pact, and that's the pact that does sonic damage with the Eldritch Blast. And I'm going to be doing the Enlightened Spirit Tree this life, and that's sort of the melee Warlock. So you've got the aura going. You can see this fancy looking aura that's spreading around me. And that ticks for damage every time it goes off, which is pretty cool. And it also has a really cool burst too, a light damage burst, like energy burst, but it does light damage. And I can use it every 5 seconds, and this doesn't cost any mana. So if you're new to Warlock, that's sort of one of the big things about Warlock, is that most of the things that they do, the spells that they cast, don't cost any mana. And they do have some sort of regular spells, for lack of a better term, and those do cost mana. I do have a blue bar here. But it's a very, very limited spell selection. A lot of them are just buffs. But I do have like blindness and charm person. So I have very little experience with Warlock. I played it for maybe a couple of hours on Lamania last month, but that's it. And I was really disappointed when it went live that this Enlightened Spirit Tree, they took out the, I think it was like a Cure Moderate or Cure Serious Wounds SLA, so it was free healing, and it was awesome. I was really digging that on Lamania, but they removed it, and I had these aspirations of sort of making a, like a backup kind of a healer. But those hopes are dashed. But I've been have fun with it so far. So my idea here is I'm going to be a heavier armor wearing tune, so be kind of tanky, bringing the mobs to me. I'm kind of playing it like I like to play my tunes. That's why I chose this tree first, because it fits my play style of being tanky and drawing a bunch of mobs around me and chewing them up with my AoEs. So let's have some fun with this. Now, I'm hoping to do all 3, my 3 lives, and do all the 3 different enhancement lines, but we'll see. That could change. One of the things that I miss already is that, like, if I were on a druid or, maybe some other casters, especially like on a druid at this point, I would have a way to one-shot mobs. So, like, if I'm approaching a group of mobs and I wanted to pluck out the casters in the back, I could just hit them with Call Lightning and boom, they're gone. I don't really have any way to do that. And so that's one of the things I don't like already. But I am having fun with this no-cost burst. That's the burst right there. So it kind of looks the same as the aura, just faster. And I can do that every 5 seconds now that I have it maxed out to tier 3. And so the Fey Pact does the sonic damage, and I'm doing light damage and force damage as well, so I do have appropriate spell power items. This Enlightened Spirit Tree features a lot of defensive components to it, ways to boost your MRR and PRR, so I love that. All about the defense. So I have no idea yet whether or not I will do like a permanent Warlock life. If I do, it would probably be my Sork Voodoo. I don't really play her anymore. And she's got a small collection, a modest collection of past lives, so it'd be a good starting point. This first episode probably, well, it's July 1st right now. I probably won't get it out for about 10 days because I got some other videos. I want to finish up my Reaver's Refuge Slayer series, and then I have an EE Mark of Death that will be up to by the time this goes out. We did our first guild Epic Elite Mark of Death, and that was a lot of fun. I think we did pretty well considering it was our first try doing EE as a guild, and most of the people in that run actually had never done it on EE at all. Few of them had, but most of them hadn't. And I think at that point I'd only run it even on like Epic Hard only once or twice. Never really had much of an interest doing it on harder difficulties because the drop rates are so low, and when I'm leading, I lead a lot of the raids for my guild, and so I don't like for my raids to be stressful and resource intensive, so I usually opt for the easier completion than trying to make things stressful on people. Just having fun with it. But it was tons of fun. It was a great challenge to do E, and we got considerable lag on that run too, so that was frustrating, but we were successful. Which by the time this video hits my channel, you will already have seen that video maybe. The blast takes out breakables, which is pretty fun. Probably not the smartest thing to do it around a bunch of exploding barrels. And so, if you haven't played your Warlock yet, the aura here is something I can toggle on and off, and I basically have a choice between shooting my Eldritch Blast, which is the range attack, or being in the stance that allows me to use the aura. And I can toggle back and forth pretty easily, but I'll switch to the Eldritch Blast for a moment. So the aura's off now, and I'm using my Sonic Eldritch Blast. Fun shooting all these blasts for no mana. I'm gonna switch back to the aura now. bunch of my guildies have Warlocks, and most of them are way beyond me in level, and a lot of them are saying it seems kind of overpowered, and um, but that they are very powerful. Everybody seems to be having fun with their Warlocks, which is cool. It's awesome to have a new class in DDO. And the past life, if you haven't seen, is +3 magic resistance rating per past life. So you can get up to +9 MRR, which that is a wonderful choice on Turbine's part. I think they made a big mistake with the last new class, which was Druid, in making the past life something that appeals to only 2 classes. And the Druid past life gives bonuses to your pet, your wolf, or your Iron Defender if you're an Artificer. So here, with having it something like MRR, that is beneficial to every class. Very, very smart, and that's going to make a lot of people want to play Warlock. One of the things I thought was really weird, speaking of pets, is that the Warlock, bring up the enhancement tree, the Enlightened Spirit has 3 different enhancements, a whole line here, well, half a line, to boost up summons. So it just doesn't even make any sense to me. There's more here than in the Druid tree. Now, the Druid is due for an enhancement pass, so hopefully they'll add more options for the Druid to amp up their wolf. But I'm not even really sure why this is there. I guess I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that it affects charmed creatures, and that's a big part of the way that you can play a Warlock. So if that's the case, then maybe charming will become a worthwhile tactic. I'm a little bit worried about self-healing. I know there's a lot, like some temporary hit point options. I haven't looked into it too deeply. For the first, 10 levels, I mean, you can just use Cure Serious Wounds pots. And then, for the early, for the tween and early teen levels, you can scroll heal. The Warlock has really high UMD, or can have really high UMD. So using scrolls to heal yourself can be pretty easy. But once you get into high teen levels, scrolls sometimes aren't quite potent enough, and well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Regardless of whether you're in your Aura stance or your Eldritch Blast stance, you can use the Burst, which is pretty cool. And that's that. Hey, thanks for watching the first episode of my first Warlock life. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you happen to be on Sarlona, you are welcome to send me a tell.